Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by special guest, Sushi Lor. Sushi Lor, with an extensive background in education, is making a name for herself in the music scene of Milwaukee. She's also a DJ. And I've been following her. And guess what? Reached out, and we got an answer. And she's here. So without further ado, how you doing, Sushi?
I'm good. Wow, what a great intro. I love that. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. So how you been?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been very busy, but I am good.
I see you, man. All these events you got going on.
Yeah.
It's man, music. What got you into that real quick? Like, this is before we go dive in, but
you really want to know?
Yeah. Nah, we'll jump right in.
Okay.
All right. So where were you born?
I was born in Thailand.
Thailand. Okay. What year? we asking the year. What year did you graduate high school?
10. I'm class of 10.
So that tells us everything we need to know.
There you go. We used to go like this.
Yeah.
When we graduated, that was class of 10.
There you go. So Thailand. How long did you live in Thailand?
I was only 3. We came to the United States in 94.
Okay.
So I grew up, we landed here. Milwaukee's been my home ever since.
Oh, got you. How was childhood here?
It's good. I think it's been really good. I have definitely seen Milwaukee change throughout the years. I grew up around the Miller Park area, the Marquette neighborhood, and really just seeing neighborhoods progress also.
Okay, got you. Did you go to MPS?
I did.
Okay. What schools you went to at MPS? Hey, don't
WCLL.
I did too.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually went second grade.
You were there since second grade?
No, I was there in the second grade.
Okay.
But they were on like 27th and Greenfield.
Yep.
Before.
That's when I went too.
Yeah?
But I think we were in different grades.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I graduated 07.
There you go.
But I had a teacher, Miss Novak and Miss Brown.
Miss Brown.
Miss Brown.
She was the principal.
Okay, she was the principal. So it was Miss Novak. Yeah, it was Miss Novak in second grade. And she was the principal. It's been a long time.
A long time. I can't believe we remember these names.
Yeah. Well, that school ended up moving.
It did. I think they moved downtown close to MATC.
Yeah. How long did you go to WCLL?
I was only there for high school.
Only there for high school?
So 9 to 12. Yep.
Throw them diamonds up. 10.
Oh, I know. That was our thing.
How was it growing up, Asian American? You know, you come to another country. You're probably still young enough. You never did you realize, like, any memory? You'd be surprised at how much people can remember, especially kids. I mean, I could go.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the urban city location, like I said, and so I think growing around like the Black community, the Hispanic, it really got me into listening to rap and hip hop, and that's probably where I, extended that frame and took this direction.
Oh gosh. Yeah. With your culture, your heritage, how has that played an influence in the person you've become?
Yeah, I think it plays everything.
Yeah.
Totally everything. I grew up being bilingual, right? My family spoke Hmong in the home. So the only time I heard English was at school. So I'm surprised I speak this fluent, right?
Yeah.
But not just that. I think just growing up around the people that I was, everyone, as children don't really know differences in race, right? It's
for sure.
I think it's
taught.
It's something that's nurtured, right? Or taught.
Gotcha.
Yep, exactly. And so being young and growing up in the urban area, I feel like we were all minorities ourselves. And so we got along pretty well.
There you go.
I have a lot of Black friends. And I feel like that kind of stuck and grew with me. And that is probably why I still feel welcome and belong in the community.
Got you. What kind of student would you say you were?
What kind of student?
Yeah, while you're in school.
Oh, I was valedictorian, just
Oh, really?
of my class. I was.
Get her in there. water in there.
Love that. I would say I'm someone who I was a child that tried really hard. I always wanted to be on top. Obviously, my parents also played a part in that. I was supposed to be a doctor, by the way. So I think that's a typical stereotype. But yeah, and not just that. It wasn't even about that. It was about trying my best and really trying to give it my all. It wasn't a matter of being number one. It was just about learning and really making sure that I walked away with something.
Well, anything you put your name on it, you gotta go give all
best.
or none.
That's
man.
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, I find it took 32 years. Don't get me wrong, man. I've had my bumps, bruises, all that, but it took 32 years, and it's finally connected for me. And you know, I really understand that. Yeah, but anything you put your name on, you better go all in with. Well, you have your master's.
I do.
So it makes sense that you're a valedictorian. So what college did you go to?
My undergrad was at UWM. I graduated from here. And then my master's from Grand Canyon University.
Okay.
So it was an online program, but very, very hard as well, right?
Yeah.
Actually more hard now that I have to juggle it with everything else that I'm doing.
Yeah. How has that impacted your life? I mean, master's is a that's an accomplishment in itself. The hours, the years you've put into your education. How has that impacted your life?
Yeah, so I did that. At the time, I had a pretty good position as well, working in the school district. I did that again to really make an impact on who Sushi Lor was. I don't think I made that decision based on who I was personally. And that decision was to really portray that people who are involved in music are also educated. And that it was really to break that stereotype, right? That we're not just here partying or going out every night, every weekend. But all these things are technical skills, right? Learning how to DJ is a multitask. It's continuously. And the last thing I need is a person talking in my ear. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can come up and say hi. But I think just going back with the education too, it's my master's is in educational leadership.
Okay.
And so the reason I took that was I wanted to really broaden my scale and my reach to more of a bigger organization.
Okay.
And that's my goal.
There you go. Man, well, I honor it. So you know what I mean? Salute to you, man. I feel like education, you know, it's for people. It isn't for people. But at the end of the day, if it clicks, why not?
It takes a lot of discipline, right? And I think it's all about knowing how to do something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of with children, right? It's not that they're not smart or they're smarter. It's because they've been exposed to these skills. Maybe they know how to study better.
Yeah.
They know how to, they know how to swim. They know how to do things that other people may not, or like you say, may not have an interest. And that is okay. That is okay because education comes in different forms and there are so many resources out there right now. And if you can still be successful doing what you're doing, I think that is okay. And you should just be you.
So after you got your master's, how long did you teach for?
So I only taught in my entire career. I started out as volunteer work at my church, doing like kindergarten work. But I only, after my undergrad, I only taught for 2.5 years.
Okay.
But I've been in leadership. So while I was in school for my master's, I already held a leadership position. I was a center director at a Head Start program.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And so I
K5.
That's right. We get the kids ready for school. It's really hard. I think being in the classroom and just seeing, and Head Start is very different too, right? With the infant and toddler. So we have like the daycare portion, and then of course the kindergarten as well. And I emphasize Head Start because I was a Head Start child myself.
I was too.
You were?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I mean, right? And do you remember how you qualify to be a Head Start student?
I do not. But I went to, No, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Because it's different from a daycare. It's not a daycare.
Yep.
There are daycare hours, right? Childcare hours. But we qualified in that program, or children qualify in that program if they are low income families.
Yep.
Very, very
That makes sense.
Rarely will they'll take a family that makes over income, but it's really to support families who are low income and to help parents get jobs.
Well, that makes sense because we were definitely low income growing up. Section 8 growing up. Even when we,
I'm like,
even when we moved to South Milwaukee, low income Section 8.
Free reduced lunch, right?
Yep. Reduced lunch, and it is what I feel like. Those type of things really shape who a person is, and you just appreciate what you have, not so much what you don't. So, from education to music, that's a lot, especially what you're doing. How you said DJs multitasking. What are things you do to release the energy you have and just stress relief when you feel overwhelmed?
I listen to other artists.
Yeah.
Right. Listen to music generally. And there's a variety. Sometimes I listen to music that matches my emotions, which is good and bad, right? Because I feel like if you're already feeling upset or sad and you listen to music that are a bit more mellow, it can actually make you sadder.
Yeah, I got you.
So sometimes I try to see where I am and find something that's going to match me and even bring me better energy.
Got you.
Do you ever find yourself in that kind of that kind of feeling, right?
Oh, for real. I've channeled my whole life by music. So, and I have a music gene in me too.
Yeah.
But I've channeled my whole life. Like, you bring up a song, I could tell you how old I was, what I was doing. It's a universal language, right? So I always feel like music has always been something I could connect to. It's got me through the toughest times, just like so many others. The way you're expressing it right now. I love music, man. Do you remember your earliest memory of finding a love for music? What's your earliest memory?
I would say I was 13.
13?
Yeah, 13 or 14. But I know for sure when I was in high school already, I was getting to tell you that how I started music. Once upon a time, I was a rapper. I'm not spitting any bars today, okay? But when I was 14 and I went into high school, that it was a thing, right? Where kids were, beatboxing, or they're hitting the tables or the desks, and that was a thing. And again, just being around the environment, the culture of hip hop really kind of got me into it. And then, of course, my friends and the radio, social media.
Got you.
Yeah.
Man, Sushi was a rapper too. And what alias did we go? Was it still Sushi Lor?
It was still Sushi Lor.
I love it.
Yes.
Everything across.
Yep. Sushi was actually my rap name. It was my rap name. I carried on when I transitioned over to a DJ.
Man. And how many years did you do the rap scene?
The rap thing? The rap thing. I think I did it probably for like 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, from like 14 to maybe like in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, then I picked up DJing. But that's a different story. As to,
who were musical influences of yours?
I listened to a lot of just like Beyonce, right? Or artists, Whitney Houston, artists that had a lot of different melodies in their voices. Rihanna was something that people say I resonate her. It's probably the big forehead, but yeah.
Oh man. Well, music, you know what I mean? You definitely hearing you can tell that music and the influence it has on you. So from performing to transitioning into DJ, what was that jump?
I would say it was very easy for me. And it's actually it was the best decision or the best transition. So as an artist, right, if you're an independent artist, you don't have a team, it's really hard to be successful, especially
for sure.
Many years ago. And so as a young Asian woman. I don't feel like I was taken seriously. I didn't have the income to really support myself to make it big. And so my goal was obviously to connect with DJs and social, networking.
Yep.
But that was really difficult. And so I figured, hey, if I just become the DJ myself, then I could play my own music.
That's right.
Right. And that was my whole mindset. And that was the reason why I transitioned. And that's exactly what I did. After I transitioned, I started playing my music in the clubs. But it was such an easy transition for me because when you're rapping on beat. You're singing on beat. You know melodies. You know how to count. And so it was the same thing with DJing. And I kind of just ran with it. And it was just seemed to be a better fit. And I got so busy with DJing that I did slow down with music, with making music.
Yeah.
But that's okay, right? It's kind of like someone who still wants to stay in the field, but wants a new position.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
I love music, and I just wanted to find a way that I can pursue it better.
Well, you've been making a name for yourself. What in the years that has followed you being a DJ and now pursuing it seriously and getting the recognition you do, what has it taught you about yourself?
I think I am a go-getter, and I'm a very independent person. And I think I'm just, I inspire myself. I think that is the greatest thing that you can say to yourself, right? It's to really look back on how far you've come. I always tell myself that each year I'm going to do something more. And I don't know what more necessarily means. It's really, I can't really define it, but it's something that I've never done before. And that's what I've been doing for many, many years.
Got you. What are achievements that stand out for you since you started DJing that you just feel that have helped you grow as a independent artist?
I would say when I first started DJing, I did open mic for artists. And that was something that I did for a very long time. I think we did that for maybe 1 or 2 years. Every single week I was there.
Oh, wow.
And that was just a very consistent thing that I feel like a lot of my following now, or the people that I know, are artists, and that's where they know me from. Obviously, throughout the years, I've done big stuff like Summerfest, right, and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've also been on the Bucks team.
Okay.
Yeah, so just Pride Fest, right? So I've done big festivals, but I would say my foundation came from connecting with artists, and that's what DJing is all about anyway.
How was that experience working with the Bucks?
It was good. It was good. I would say it's a lot of heavy work, right? So obviously I would have to carry all of my gears, my 2 speakers, stands, every gig, especially if you were positioned in in a concourse area. Yeah, and things like that. So
awesome.
A lot of moving around, but it's fun. It was fun. It was just good to network with people and just to kind of see the home vibe of the team.
Yeah. How do you feel Milwaukee has contributed to your success?
I think Milwaukee has contributed a lot to my success, only because it has allowed me to have the platform that I do. Sometimes I wonder if I were to grow up in LA, would I have been bigger or maybe smaller than I am, right? Because the competition is higher. I don't know. Or maybe I would have even, been bigger than I am now because of what I'm able to do.
Opportunities. Now, I know this very well because when I do these interviews, it's a chance to network, and it's a chance to hear the stories and just enter someone's world. With the way you network, how has that been? Because you got to take into the fact that you are a female DJ, and I love that fact. But at the end of the day, I would say it's male dominated. Would you?
It is male dominated, but I don't introduce myself as a female DJ. I am a DJ.
I love that. Hey, I don't beat me up.
And I think that's probably what makes me continue the work that I do, right? I feel like when I put a sex symbol to it, it lowers who I am.
Yeah.
When people say I'm looking for a female DJ. Yes, you could call my name and reference me, but I also want to be mentioned when people say I'm looking for a DJ. Period.
Yeah. I was on the fence about asking the question.
That's okay.
But
yeah.
I feel like you gotta ask it.
You gotta ask
You gotta.
it. Some people do,
Yeah.
because they being a female DJ is still a very small pocket of amount of people, and so when you go into that pocket, then it's easier to speak on.
Yeah.
But I feel like I want to be in general where the
for
people
sure.
are. Yeah.
Well, I first heard your name through, I did an interview with Rocky.
You did.
Yeah, Your Move MK.
Uh-huh.
And this was last March.
Yep.
But yeah, she brought you up.
Okay.
And I was like,
Tell me the story. How was I brought up?
Well, we were talking about music, and I'm just, I'm looking. I was looking for, because
For a female DJ?
a female, no, just a female in general, because the majority of people that come on the platform are male. So I also want this balance of female representation. And with her, I was talking to her about it. And, I feel your culture has too as well. You know what I mean? I take a lot of pride that I'm Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you're going to talk about Milwaukee, you have to talk about all the ethnicities that represent Milwaukee. And the Hmong community is a large one. Before we even started the interview, I have many friends that I still talk to till this day, but it's also trying to represent Milwaukee. And when we were having our conversation, I'm like, I need female representation, but more than that, I really need to represent this city in the way it needs to be represented. So yeah, she brought your name up, and I was like, yes.
Oh, so that's awesome.
I'm appreciative of you coming onto the platform. So what's your creative process like?
So I really just go based on the feel of music, right? I think social media especially nowadays, has such a big impact and creativity on how people are making music, right? You ever seen those TikTok videos where it'll be like, these are the throwback songs, right? Or like, which party would you go to? So there's been a lot of that. But I think my creativity when it comes to the actual DJing, I would say I'm awesome, and I'm very adjustable at reading the audience. And not just that, but I think being Asian has a big part in the music that I am able to play. Oftentimes people look at me and they don't know what I'm going to play, which is awesome. And I love that. And then here I go, I play some bachata, or I play some Latin music, or I start playing old school hip hop, or I play Asian music.
Yeah, dude.
And it's so amazing how people just
react to it.
Or they just vibe to it, because I think, like you said, with me, you can't really stereotype. Like, I don't think you can really, or maybe I'm playing top 40s.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I think that's what I love about being Asian, an Asian DJ.
I'll tell you like this, like I often listen to all the diversity that I listen to in my music. I mean, Indian music, Asian music, you guys got some hitters over there. But yeah, man, I'm never closed-minded to music, because I feel like, again, it's a universal language, and you can learn so much from listening to different sounds. And if you're an artist yourself like me, I like writing. I like writing music. You put a beat, it's like how you say, you count. If you know how to count the music, I mean, you got it down. That's it. Yep. And off of that, to any type of instrumental, any type of beat, rhythm you can go off of, but it's an appreciation of music itself. The way you started off as a DJ was doing open jams for local artists, right?
Yes, we call it open mic.
Open mic, my bad. But do you remember your first set at an open mic and the emotions that were
my set as an artist?
Yep.
I do. I was 15 years old.
15 years old.
It was at a bar, I think somewhere close to like the Brookfield, kind of in that area. There was a team. There was an Asian team that was from Minnesota, came to town, wanted to throw an event. They reached out to me because I was already starting to do music. I was about a year in at that time. And they wanted to have me perform, and I was enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a bar setting, and so my mom came with me.
Awesome.
I know. And just right then, I knew that I was gonna go far.
Hey,
That I was gonna continue when my mom came and supported me for my first kid. I was like, oh,
can we do this for moms?
yeah, she deserves it. Yeah.
Oh man, I know you was out in the crowd like, moms, this one's for you. Boom, boom. Oh man. So, through the years in collaborating with so many artists and just, going to all these venues, is there any moment throughout this journey of yours that stands out in particular?
I would say my big gigs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my big gigs.
What are the big gigs?
Things like Summerfest, right? Pride Fest is a really fun one. And even now, I occasionally DJ at LaCage, right, which is a gay club here, but it's probably one of the best environment setting that I love because literally the people come there to party.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you go to other settings and people are kind of just sitting down, having a drink. And as a DJ, if you're DJing that kind of setting, the trick is to find the one or two people who are going to vibe to your music, catch their attention, and then use them to kind of, engage the rest of the audience.
Gotcha.
Whereas, at places like LaCage, literally everyone is there to have a good time, which I truly appreciate.
Yeah.
And I get to play anything I want, technically, right? Like anything from house music to old school classic hip hop to top 40s, and then mix and match things.
I've been to LaCage a couple times with a group of friends. Yeah.
It's fun, right?
Hell yeah. I don't drink anymore, but party days, yeah, man. Group of friends of ours, go out. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's go to LaCage. Hey, why not? Always a fun time, though.
Yeah.
Always a fun time.
Those are just the club scenes, right? But I've also done things like colleges, where like homecoming, like summer gig stuff.
Gotcha. What colleges?
I've done UW-Madison. I've done UWM. I've done Alverno as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's Alverno?
Good.
Isn't that?
Why do you say it like that?
Because isn't it all? That's all
Female.
All female school.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys just getting litty with champagne? No. I'm just
Actually, for the events, I think boys were allowed. Guys were allowed.
Oh,
there.
wow.
I did see a couple guys. I don't know if they were supposed to be in there, but
okay.
There's definitely some guys in there.
I'm sorry. I have to. I got to pick. I got to pick fun. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Why do you find yourself having so much passion for DJing?
Because I'm good at it.
Yeah. Tell the world.
I'm trying to say that in the most humble
way. She's like, I know.
Cut. Oh God, let me say that again. Okay. Whew. I think music has really brought me in different places, mentally, physically, right? It has allowed me to travel.
Yeah.
And traveling was something that I've always wanted to do, just to explore. I think not having a family at this time, right? Like of my own, that's something that I just want to do. And for many, many years, it has allowed me to meet new people, network. I'm also a core DJ.
Yeah.
Yep, we are a...
Yeah.
Why do you have that face?
Because I did a collaboration with a radio station, and that group got brought up, Core DJs.
Yes.
So it's a community of DJs, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll let you get back.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Yes, we're the core, and really Milwaukee is home to the core.
Okay.
Yep. Milwaukee is home to
sense.
the core, and then it expanded from there. So, but we are all over. We've got people in Puerto Rico, literally everywhere. And that has also allowed me to have purpose when I travel, right? When I'm in Arizona, I hit up, some of our folks, or in Chicago, I'm say, hey, is anyone DJing tonight? And it's just, like you said, create that community of a family.
Yeah. With a DJ community, what is the Asian representation? Is it a large amount, or is it a few, or yeah?
I would say it's very small. As far as like the Midwest area, there's only a couple, I would say. There may be some newer DJs,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say DJs that are still DJing, right, and are actively DJing. I could very, very minimal.
Okay, got you. So what does it mean to you knowing that you carry that torch? Because ultimately, I'm telling you, I heard your name the first time, and not like a little while after that, I just started hearing your name over and over. And I'm very active in the entertainment scene. Obviously, I do a podcast. People talk, but your name is often brought up. So, I mean, people have a high respect for you. What does that feel like knowing that you're carrying this torch as a representation?
I think it just lets me know that I have an impact on the community, on the people, and that music is not just music, right? Like, this is not just an image, that this is more than that. Like, it's someone who's consistent, someone who truly puts in work. And like I said, music is very universal, right?
Yeah.
And I think the creative part of making transitions, of actually creating songs and mixes, is really what takes my audience in.
Yeah. Before you do any type of sets where these live jams, and do you have any rituals you do before you get up on the stage?
I don't. Well, I do. I usually I try not to go out or do anything too active. No, I usually like to mentally relax before. Usually friends would say, "Hey, we're doing this here before your gig. Do you want to come by, hang out?" No, I don't. It's a, like you said, it's a ritual. I like to relax my mind before I do that. I usually go through music as well. I usually just look at my crates and kind of just look at them. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but I just look at them and I just, kind of see what kind of music is available. And then I really freestyle every single time.
That's awesome.
And that's how it should be, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's how it should be. So then when I show up to a gig, sometimes I don't know what song, what first song I'm going to play.
What's going to start off.
Until I get there. And then I'm like, let me switch it up.
Let me look at this crowd real quick.
Let me play this song real quick. Yes. Every gig that I've ever done has been a freestyle.
That's how you understand the music, one, and two, that's how you feel the music. Like, I feel like it is a language, and if you know how to hone in on that, it can honestly be a special thing where you have the power to move the room, to captivate it, like, I love music.
I can't wait to hear about your music, honestly.
I'll show you some after.
I feel like that needs to be on a whole exclusive episode of yours.
I have my plan for it. So this is how would you describe the Milwaukee scene for music? Because you're in it every time you do an event. But how would you describe the music scene in Milwaukee?
I would say it's very limited. And the reason I say that is because I can literally count. There are only so many venues.
Yes.
Right. There are only so many venues, so many events. So unless you take the initiative to start something, if you are a novice DJ starting up, chances of you, maybe having a gig may be very, very slim.
Gotcha.
Or unless, but then who knows? It's all about connections as well, right? Maybe you know someone and you get pulled right in. So the possibility is always there. But I would say I would like to see more events, as in more things happening. And I'm not saying it to pinpoint other people, right? Even ourselves, we can create those kind of events.
Oh, for sure. Did you have any type of mentors, anybody that guided you through this journey of, DJing?
I did, of course. I would be completely... No, I'm
out.
just kidding. Yes, I want to give a shout out to DJ NASA.
Okay.
Yep. He does do some special events, events now here and there. But he was also, when I was doing music, he was also my producer.
Oh, wow.
And so he really kind of just stuck through me. And I still am closely in touch with him today.
Yeah.
So I would say when I told him that I got my first club gig, he came out, showed me love. Actually, a lot of DJs came out and showed me love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to give another shout out to DJ Manny. Is another one that really came out, and every time we see each other out, it's always so much love. So
let's give them this. Thank you, guys.
I love that.
When you go to live events, what is most important to you when you're getting ready to, go in on the room, get the mood going? What's most important to you?
I would say reading the crowd, right? Reading the crowd. But sometimes, like I said, I play music based on. I'm a little selfish sometimes. Sometimes I play music on what I want to hear, but most of the time it's a music that. And then you start off with that, and then of course the audience kind of gauges in.
Yeah.
Where
do you see yourself in the next 5?
In the next 5 years, musically, I started doing producing. Yep, as in actually, it's some DJing. DJing is different from producing, right?
Yep.
Like actually making beats and making your own songs, putting things together. Lately, I've just been playing with more instruments, using like Fruity Loops and just Pro Tools, GarageBand, literally everything that I can really play with at this time. Just because I do feel like it would add a different element to my DJing.
I had a friend like that, and he went off to do some great and big things. He was a DJ. His name's Randy Lampierre, and he ended up switching over, learning to produce. And next thing you know, he's on tour with Ray Schmer and Mike Will, and just. It's awesome to see. So when you say like you're jumping into the realm of producing, I always remember because it was a event that I was getting ready for, that I was going to be performing at, and me and him throughout that whole getting ready for that event. I was working with him, and he had this big DJ setup, but he also had this computer and catch him. He made his own track, of mixes. He made a couple mixes, dropped a couple, but I totally can understand you saying, hey, you're going from DJ and now you want to, basically
make original songs.
Yep. So that's awesome, Hey, get it.
Yes.
For you, like I said, you're carrying the torch, not only for the Asian community, not only for women, but as a DJ. And I know you earlier in the interview, you said, that's how you want to be respected. I want you to understand, like, I respect you in the fullest. I think what you're doing out here is monumental. What advice would you give to aspiring DJ artists that are choosing to put in their foot in right now?
I would say, like anything else, start with the foundation, right? That means studying the art, what it really means, how to do it. Like I said earlier, right? Maybe learning how to count beats if you've never been in the music industry and you want to do DJ. Really understand and then study people who have been there and how they have been successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. And then, of course, utilizing all the platforms and all the resources that we have at the tip of our fingers and really learn it to make it your own.
Yeah. Well, Sushi, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, being a representation of how special Milwaukee is, Southeast Wisconsin. What are ways people can contact you?
I'm on all social media, right? I think that's good enough.
She's on the Insta.
On the Instagram. Yep. Everything is just Sushi Lor.
Sushi Lor?
Yeah, I think TikTok is the only DJ. Maybe Twitter too. Amazing. But you get it. You get it. Just put Sushi Lor. And Lor is my real last name.
Yes.
Yes. And so I wanted to keep that with the name because it, like you said, that inclusion, that diversity, it really brings out
Yeah.
my name. And sushi is actually a Japanese food, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not Japanese.
No.
So I wanted to make it clear of who I am, my identity.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, believe me, your name is brought up very often to me. I've had more than one person come up to me, say, you need to get Sushi on the platform. And I'm just happy that, this finally happened and, you were all for it. So, based on that, thank you again for coming on. I am a fan, will continue to be a fan, and keep kicking ass, And with that being said, Spearhead out.